So Barcelona and PSG played, and this was the anticipated UEFA Champions League final last season, and everyone believed that this would be the worthy final, and for sure this was very entertaining to watch, and a lot of people on Barcelona fans believed that they could only beat PSG. Chelsea might differ to that, and a lot of other teams who have recently got the better of a tired PSG team who were not interested in those games can. Even Tottenham were 2-0 up in the UEFA Super Cup. So you need to understand a few games PSG cannot give their everything to because they don't matter that much. So in this game, basically, PSG ended up dominating Barcelona at their own home. And why was this the case? We'll go into that. So I really feel that if you can differentiate the blue and white marker, the blue is PSG, the blue is PSG, and the black is Barcelona. I'll just mention that here. So this was the thing where Nuno Mendes was occupying these positions in the central areas where he was allowed to run, and he was spared of this responsibility because Yamal was taking these sort of positions, and he would pass from the outside of this of his boot, and then their striker would come from these positions, run here, and then cause problems here. That was the main threat from Barcelona, and in the counters where Rashford would find himself one on one with a defender, he left. He tried to go ahead and the went here, and the defender went somewhere else. So he left his defender for like he left his defender for something, that is a phrase, but okay. And then he crosses from here, and then the strikers arrive in these areas. Danny Olmo and Rashford arrive from these areas, and they try to score a goal. So these were the attacking patterns Barcelona adapted to, and obviously Pedri tries to dictate the game from here. He tries to be here. The goal came like this. So the goal also came from Pedri advancing to the box, then finding the pass to Rashford, and then Rashford finding it to Ferran Torres, and that was a beautiful goal. But often, what happens is that Barcelona, with this high line, keep themselves give this whole area to the opposition. Now, what needs to happen for this zone to be taken advantage of? Thierry Henry in his post-match show made a very good point. The striker needs to be in this area. He does not need to care about this line where he could be offside. He needs to occupy this zone and be in these sort of positions, and he needs to wait for the wingers to take advantage of this high line, because often what happens is when the striker is here and then they advance till here, but the striker does not arrive at the opportune time, and the Barca backline forms their shape again. So that is what happens. For this, what needs to happen is, in these positions, you need a Vitinha to find this, or find a Hakimi. And because Barcelona and PSG are not defensively and physically strong, like that is not what they're known for. So their way of managing that physicality of the game is to press fearlessly, and to press fiercely, endlessly, sort of like they never stop pressing each other. They are pressing for the whole 90 minutes, and that is why if you apply so much pressure, like if Barcelona, De Jong is applying pressure, Pedri is applying pressure, always applying pressure, Yamal is applying pressure, Rashford is applying pressure. Everyone is applying pressure. So it is very hard to play from the back. But the trick is that you have to anyway, and for that you have to have a technically solid midfield. And here, Vitinha plays a huge role, just like Pedri does for Barcelona. This was not a Rafinha versus Dembele because both of them were not playing, so it eventually ended up being Pedri versus Vitinha. And Vitinha costed PSG their first goal, but you would end up saying that Vitinha won the battle eventually. And even though Pedri was rated higher in the ratings, etc., of various sites, but Vitinha ended up winning that battle. Finding these two players who have unreal pace, they advance to these positions Barcola also had a lot of pace. He tried to switch wings and take advantage of this. Now PSG had two weaknesses here in the two forwards they played. Let me remember their names: Mbaye and Mayulu. That is the area where they were struggling a little bit. Sorry, I have messed up my screen. But okay, anyway, so that is where they struggled in the first half, where they were not able to take full advantage of these positions because they did not have their front choice, first choice front forward players. So that is where they had a lot of issues. And anyway, let the screen be as it is. I will have to make a new video, but I don't want to. I don't have the time to make a new video, so I'll carry on anyway. Don't go. I'll start talking. But yeah, so mostly if you see Barcelona and PSG's teams, yeah, Barcelona had everyone. Even Yamal was back, and Yamal literally showed in the first half why he's the best player in the world. Even Nuno Mendes, who is supposed to be the best left back in the world, could not live with him. So it was a good game to watch: technical football, entertaining football, high pressing, and fearless football, where two teams were going at each other without an apprehension of, oh, we'll just respect you, we'll sit deep, we will try to do this and that. That happens in the Premier League, where even Guardiola has switched to the method of trying to adjust to the whatever defensive approach he took in at the Emirates Stadium. Now, this showed that okay, these two teams are not scared of each other. They have so much confidence in their technicality and their ability going forward. And even Marcus Rashford was doing very well. Yeah, Lamine Yamal was doing very well. But eventually, if you see De Jong, Dani Almo, Pedri cannot carry your midfield alone. You need to form those triangles, and you need to be like more physically robust. And the fact that you have to press high and press with fierceness for the whole 90 minutes, it sometimes does not remain sort of sustainable. And even the fact that you don't have Balde playing, like he did not start the game, maybe you lack a little bit of pace also there. So there you find yourself very like exposed to counter attacks. Your center backs had a good game, your front three had a good game, but your midfield, um, in De Jong and Danny Almo, I think they were a little bit disappointing, and they need to Hansi Flick needs to find this, that how would you find the right balance where when you're playing teams like PSG who are good at going forward and can technically keep up with you, and they do not care about the technicality side of the game, where you press them and you threaten to take the ball high in like basically you threaten to take the ball here, and then your front four is so good that any team will suffer if you have the ball in these positions. So he needs to find that balance where when teams can bypass the press, he has some a robust midfielder here who can handle these situations. And the fact that robust midfielder like someone like a Declan Rice, but let's not say Declan Rice, because Barcelona are anyway so good technically in the midfield that they don't need a Declan Rice. But even not a Declan Rice, but someone with attributes of Declan Rice, not to that level where he can be still good technically with the ball. But like Barcelona wanted Thomas Partey. I think that I get why they wanted Thomas Partey. So it was not a huge surprise for me. A midfielder like that would solve most of their problems, because he would give them that physical assurance at the back, and he will also like technically not drop the level that you already have built in. So there are a few concerns related to Barcelona, and that is why I don't think they are going to win a lot of trophies this season, because the style of play you play is not that sustainable. But let's see what happens. And Right now, I am a little bit like I have no idea how to blend the screen. I am finding that out right now. But yeah, that is all I want to say in this video. And this is not a good video, I know, but I'll post this anyway.